It's February, and you know what that means, a whole bunch of awesome new video games coming out on PC. To be honest, new games come out every month, so February isn't exactly special in that regard, but I'm almost certain this is the first time in human history we're seeing Ace Combat 7, Crackdown 3, Metro Exodus, and Anthem all releasing within the same 30 days of each other.
Wow, what an unprecedented situation! But before we begin, I'm going to do something very precedented and kindly ask that you subscribe to the channel and ring that bell to stay up to date on all our videos. Okay, let's crack on. In the 24 years Ace Combat's been around, the series has never had an entry on PC. I can say this confidently because I'm ignoring the existence of Ace Combat Assault Horizon, which came out on PC in 2013 and was so dreadful that I've erased it from my memory. But the lack of good Ace Combat PC games is all set to change with Skies Unknown. It's got massive jets in, and you can customise those jets, and the rockets come on little wheels. What's not to like? Set in the same fictional universe as its predecessors, you play as a member of the International Union Peacekeeping Force, which is all about maintaining a sense of niceness across the continent. Luckily for you, that involves fun things like taking back control of a space elevator, destroying enemy planes on the runway, doing flawless takeoffs and landings, and chatting to friendlies with names like High Roller and Sea Goblin. I like using the in-cockpit camera with the full HUD turned on to get that true feeling of being a pilot, even if I haven't got a clue what any of that green stuff means.
From the makers of Starbound comes this turn-based battle game about travelling a cute little pixel world with an army in tow. You control one of 4 warring factions, each with their own abilities. The Cherrystone Kingdom, for example, have battle puppies and sea turtles, while the Floran tribes have leafy dragons and living trees. Commanders are the most powerful units in Wargroove, able to use a special skill called a groove that's unique to each faction. For example, Sigrid from the necromancy-loving Felheim Legion has Vampiric Touch, which drains all health from an enemy unit and heals her. There are 12 commanders in all, each with their own fancy groove, but without question I'm going to be using Caesar from the Cherrystone Kingdom, because his groove is the ability to give all adjacent units a second turn, and he's also a golden retriever.
Taking place almost 20 years after Far Cry 5, New Dawn lets you play through the aftermath of Joseph Seed's reign of terror. We won't spoil what happens, but given the once idyllic Hope County is now overgrown and filled with more bad people, you can probably imagine that it can't have been anything good. Of all the changes, the new weapon crafting system looks like it will come into play the most. You can strap a kitchen knife to a rifle and use it like a bayonet, or make a gun that launches saw blades by revving them up with a motorbike throttle. One of my favourite features of recent Far Cry games is the Guns and Fangs for Hire system, and New Dawn is giving us a whole new cast of AI followers, like this foul-mouthed granny, or a boar called Horatio. Plus, they can finally ride shotgun with you, so no more hopping in a vehicle and leaving them to tag along on foot. New Dawn isn't a numbered sequel. It's had a shorter development time and recycles the Far Cry 5 map, so think of this as being a production on the same scale as Far Cry Primal, only with less spears and more jury-rigged sniper rifles.
I'm in the mood for a superhero sandbox game, so Crackdown 3 couldn't be coming at a more perfect time. Just Cause 4 didn't really do it for me, but I'll tell you what will. Terry Crews taking on gangs with a rocket launcher. You can expect the same winning formula as the first 2 games. Thunder around a futuristic city taking down different factions who each inhabit their own region and reclaim it all in the name of the law. There's a ton of different playable characters, and they're all geared towards a specific skill. For example, one agent levels up her agility faster, resulting in the ability to jump 10 feet off the ground, sprint up skyscrapers, and leap over entire buildings. The level of environmental destruction has been ramped up too, with special weapons like the black hole gun causing widespread damage. It's a wonder cops aren't constantly asking to see your badge after you've blown something up, probably because they don't want to be blown up themselves, which is understandable.
February hits a high point on the 15th with Metro Exodus, the 3rd game in the series of grimy post-apocalyptic shooters. You'll notice from the footage there's a distinct lack of underground action, which is what we'd typically expect from a Metro game. It's in the title after all. But things have changed for Exodus, and now the bulk of the game happens on the surface, where you'll fight irradiated bears in forests, drive battered vehicles through deserts, and climb towers for better sniping vantage points. It's proper open world survival action this time. The game's scope has been well and truly expanded, but don't worry if you're more of a fan of silently taking a dude out with your last bullet while poisonous gas slowly seeps in through the crack in your gas mask. Stealth is still incredibly important, unless of course you want to ring the dinner bell for a horde of radioactive scorpions. This is still a true Metro game.
Jump force is not, as I originally thought, the force calculated when everyone on Earth decides to jump at the same time, but the force of awesome characters that have assembled in this 3-on-3 tag team fighting game. It's got characters from Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh!, 39 characters from 16 different series in all, coming together to help prevent a catastrophe when their universe collides with the real world. There's something about having a massive superpowered scrap in front of the Eiffel Tower that makes the whole thing even more absurd. And hey, if all those characters aren't enough for you, you can even make your own weird anime hero. How about a guy with green skin, some antennae and massive muscles? I'll call him Piccolo. And to the best of my knowledge, he will be 100% unique. Yep, no one will have made anything that daft before.
BioWare's next big multiplayer sci-fi game Anthem finally arrives this month. A shooter-looter in the mold of Destiny, it makes its own unique mark by giving you a cutting-edge suit of flying armour to play with. They're called Javelins, and there are 4 to choose from. The Interceptor is your fastest and nimblest option, while the Colossus is your beefy tank. The Storm is an elemental type dealing magic-like damage, and finally there's the Ranger acting as a great all-rounder. All 4 have unique weapons too, such as the Interceptor's double-bladed daggers, which offer a flurry of slashes and no melee cooldowns. Javelins also have jet engines, enabling both flight and underwater flying, which I like to call swimming, so there's no danger of you being stranded in the mysterious and dangerous world outside the safety of your home base, Fort Tarsus. Grouping up with mates and embarking on missions looks fun, but for me it's all about returning to camp and upgrading my Javelin until I only have to click my fingers for everyone on screen to instantly be dead.
Trials started out as a physics-based stunt-like platformer where you had to navigate precarious courses in a dingy warehouse. But Ubisoft's latest addition to the series is a globe-trotting action movie that takes you to the likes of Paris and Chernobyl in order to see who can rack up the biggest hospital bill. The spectacle ramps way up in Trials Rising, with track design that's more complex than anything we've ever seen before. Detailed courses shift and change even while you're on them. Exploding fuel barrels might blast open the next part of the course, or a tailing news chopper may swoop down to get a better shot of you. This course in a massive aircraft is a highlight, which sees you jump between chunks of debris. It all looks like the throwaway fun you get with Trials. That is until you get to that one annoying course that's a sheer vertical wall you're somehow meant to bunny hop up, but hey, you can always go and race opponents online if you're having trouble beating gravity.
Where Codemaster's Dirt series is all about pulling stunts and getting air, Dirt Rally is its more straight-laced cousin, the one where, if you don't listen to your co-driver, you'll end up on your roof. It's like Simon Says at 60 miles per hour. One of the main improvements in Dirt Rally 2.0 is the new terrain, which blends even more naturally between levels of degradation depending on how many cars have been on it. You want to crack out the grippy tyres if you're going last. This is also the official game of the FIA World Rallycross Championship, which means you'll be racing on dozens of official courses across New Zealand, Argentina, Spain, Poland, Australia and the USA. Plus, you'll be getting behind the wheel of over 50 licensed motors, all of which you'll naturally completely muddy up.
So those are the games on their way to PC this February. Let us know in the comments what games you're going to be picking up.
For me, it's going to be Metro, maybe a bit of Anthem because it looks so shiny.
And I'm going to be getting a little game called Like and Subscribe, which is all about someone who watches a video about the best games coming out in February, and then likes that video and subscribes to the channel that made it. You could do the same right now.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I kind of want to play that game.